And now to the trade war with China. How to avoid it? Here's what's really going on, the fight behind the scenes, what it's really all about. China is focused on one thing and one thing only, not just profits, but protecting the communist state control. China wants to be the world's dominant technological superpower by 2025. That's what it has said. That is its stated militarization goal. Now, the way out is this. It's happening right now. Take the fight to the WTO. That's what the U.S. is doing. That's what Trump is doing. The U.S. has won every case against China since 2004 at the WTO. And look at this. News breaking just moments ago. Japan and the EU is now joining the Trump administration in filing the complaint at the World Trade Organization over China's taking of intellectual property of other companies and outside of other countries. Joining me now, China expert at the American Enterprise Institute. He's Derek Scissors. Good to see you, Derek.
Good to see you, too.
So is the White House right that this fight with China, it's really a national security issue? I mean, look at this. China's ripped off U.S. designs for fighter jets, drones, thermonuclear submarines, and more.
Yeah, there are two components to this. There's absolutely a national security component where China steals U.S. technology that's used in the military, but there's also an economic component where even if it's not used in the military, China will steal it. Basically, if it's not buckled down, the Chinese will steal it or try to coerce American companies to transfer it. So the administration is right that this is a serious problem, and they're right that U.S. action is long overdue.
You know, Derek, China has been breaking the rules ever since it joined the WTO. In 2001, it's against the rules to demand that any company, U.S. companies or otherwise, transfer their technology to the Chinese, right?
That's right. So you're not allowed to say, if you want access to our market, you have to do a whole bunch of things that you wouldn't otherwise normally do. You're not allowed to coerce companies which want to sell in China. And that's really Chinese policy. And they fairly openly admit it. They say, look, you don't have to come to China. If you want to come to China, you have to follow our rules. Unfortunately, that's not what the WTO says. So China is in violation of WTO principles.
You know, Derek, too, and this is happening as China is hacking U.S. manufacturers, hacking the U.S. defense industry, right?
That's right. So, you know, the administration has chosen to focus on American companies operating in China who are being coerced by the Chinese government. They could have chosen to focus on just theft, that the Chinese steal U.S. military secrets, but they also steal U.S. trade secrets, our company secrets. And that it doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to try to do business in China. You could be in Illinois. If you have something the Chinese want, they will try to steal it from you.
That's a fact. I mean, that's what's going on. And I think that's what the Trump administration is trying to do, put that in focus, because this has been going on for years. I mean, Chinese companies then use that technology to beat U.S. companies. And you know what's interesting, Derek? J.P. Morgan Chase chairman and CEO Jamie Dimon, he does say now that he does believe President Trump does have legitimate complaints over trade.
Right. I mean, people have moved in this direction over time because it's obvious that China blocks access to its market. It's obvious that China steals or coerces IP. I think the remaining problem is it's not so obvious what to do about it. The business community wants magic to happen, there to be no conflict. Somehow the Chinese will change their behavior, which they're not going to do. And the Trump administration, you know, there are a lot of targets here. Do they focus on Chinese subsidies? Do they focus on the national security side? Do they focus on IP theft? So they have some choices to make. And the business community, even though it recognizes problems in the China relationship, doesn't seem to be willing to take the action necessary to fix those problems.
All right, let's talk about the tariffs, because the markets are shrugging off fears of a trade war today. All three of the major indices ending the day in the green. How bad is a 25% tariff on $50 billion worth of products?
It's really not that big a deal. Obviously, if you're affected directly by the tariffs, it matters a lot, and I don't mean to minimize that. But 25% tariff on $50 billion worth of products is going to cut U.S. imports or exports by about $20 billion. You know, U.S. GDP is $18 trillion. U.S. trade is $3 trillion. $20 billion just doesn't matter that much to the American economy, even though it does matter, of course, to those people affected directly by the tariffs.
I mean, I don't know if this is your analysis or somebody else's analysis. Somebody's on $50 billion of products. That tariff would total about, I think, $13 billion. It's the economic equivalent of a 13-cent increase in gas prices. Does that sound right?
No, an economic equivalent. It's not the economic equivalent of 13-cent increase in gas prices, and that $13 billion isn't right either. So it's definitely not my analysis. I mean, if you actually continue to import $50 billion worth of goods and apply the 25% tariff, then you'd get $13 billion. But what will happen, and the administration knows this very well, is you'll start getting substitutes. You won't import the $50 billion. You'll import goods from other countries. China will do that, or the United States will do it. So that calculation, that's not the way trade works. If goods from China become more expensive, we might make them here. We might bring them in from other countries.
Yeah.
We're not going to continue to import them.
Yeah, no one wants a big trade war, but we just want to get to the bottom of what's really going on. And Derek, thanks for setting me straight on that. I really appreciate it. Come back soon. We love having you on. It's great stuff.